Hello, I'm Steve. Welcome to the Patio Heat channel, where we provide visual concepts of infrared heating as well as tips for outdoor comfort. Our one-on-one customer support helps you make the best decisions for your applications. We strive to earn your business. Visit our patioheat.com website for sales and more information. Now let's get heating. All right, so here we have this residential application in the state of Texas, and so it's cold in the winter and kind of warm in the summer, so the fans are important in this application. Let's go ahead and look at the overall dimensions. Overall dimensions I have here is basically 18 foot by 10 foot, and then I have a ceiling height of approximately 8 foot 2 inches. There are two fans here, as I said before, and the center to center I have at 6 foot 2. On the right side here, center to the wall, I have at 6 foot 1, and then from the center here to the edge over here, I have at 6 foot 1. The fan blades, or the fan diameter, I should say, is at 4 foot 8 inches, and it drops 12 inches off of the ceiling itself. This beam here, I have at 7 inches tall. And the center of the heaters to this beam itself, the inside edge, I have at 4 foot 1.5, and that leaves us with approximately 1 foot 9.5 inches to the edge of the fan blades to this edge here. So let's go ahead and look at a couple of different options and what I might suggest. Let me turn this off. And option number one would be placing 4,000 watt units over here. What I have here is I have 6 inches of clearance from this edge to this combustible surface here. I have these at 30-degree tilts. And then also one issue that we do have is if these fan blades are combustibles, this will not work. So something important to note. But I want to also just show what the footprint of heat would look like. So this is the clearances. So again, if these fan blades are combustible, then it will not properly work. We don't meet the clearances combustible, so it can't be done. Now, if the fan blades are steel blades or some sort of composite non-combustible item, then this would actually work just fine. I should say the placement would work just fine, but I want to show you some other issues that we might have with regards to this placement of two 4,000 watt SlimLine units in this location. So you can see here we're meeting the clearances below, and when you place this heater at a 30-degree angle, then the clearances above are still met as long as you use the OEM brackets that are 6 inches in height here. So that's that, and let's go ahead and look at the footprint of heat and why this is not my preferred application. Whoops, sorry about that. Let's turn this off here for a minute. So as you can see here with the seating position here, you would have to bring the if you're going to sit here, you're going to bring the chair out probably a little bit further. And if that's said, you know, you could bring the table in a little bit further too. But if you're not in that ray, that footprint of heat, this is infrared light waves. Infrared light wave is, you know, it's a light wave. And if you're not in that physical beam, you're not going to feel the heat whatsoever. So if you're standing over here, you're not going to feel much of that output at all. Now, infrared does bend and stretch as it travels through space. So there'll be a little bit of warmth over here, but this is the ideal footprint of heat that I'm showing, and that's why I don't recommend this as the preferred application. Also, if you're sitting on this side of the table, then that beam of light is absorbed into the table, so your lower body is not going to receive much heat whatsoever. So that's another issue I have with that. But that being said, 4,000 watt unit, this would be warm over here. If we moved it, you know, the table to the left here a little bit, and this would be the cooler side here. So it's not going to be a uniform heat, and that's why it's not my preferred application. All right, so let's go ahead and look at, I should say one other thing here is they did mention that they do have a curtain. Now, I'm not quite sure if the curtain is along the bottom edge over here, but if it's a windy day and it's a curtain that blows around, then that could be a issue that you do not want to use the heaters when the curtain's blowing inside of the area here. So just keep that in mind, but we do need to make sure that we have at least 18 inches of clearance from the combustible area on this side over here as well as this side over here, and we'll leave it at that. I'm gonna go ahead and turn that curtain off and turn off the option here and go with a second option, which would be utilizing 3 of the SlimLine 3000 watt units. You could actually go to a 4000 watt unit if you feel like you need more heat. But with this application height, I think 3000 watts would be preferred, especially if you're not going to use a control system. If you use a control system, then 4000 watt units would be ideal. And that way you can dim the heaters up and down as you see fit, 1% on to 100% on. You can see here that I've placed this unit in the center between the two units, or the two fans. So our clearance, and I did drop the heaters down, and that's why I'm saying 3000 watt units here. I did drop them down, so the clearances below the heater is below the physical fan blade itself. Now, if it's non-combustible fan blades, like I said before, you can move it up to the ceiling, which is additional, I believe, 3.5 inches higher than it is right now. So in any case, this is what I have as far as the distances apart from each other. You can see here I have this in the center, and then 6 foot 1 3/8 to the outer edge over here. And I should also just pull the top clearances off, and this is why I have it at that distance here. And I'm going to go ahead and put on these dimensions so we can look at this 4'8" diameter. I'm meeting that 4'8" diameter on the top of the units themselves with this type of application or this type of placement. So over here, 6 foot 1, or sorry, 6 foot 1 3/8 to the center of the bracket here, center of the bracket here. All right, and the heaters are also placed in the center of the patio itself, being that this 4 foot 1.5 is the center location, meeting where the fan blades, the fan center is as well. Other than that, you can see here that we are penetrating the brick area, but because this is brick, I'm assuming that this is solid brick and that it is non-combustible for that reason itself. So I think that's about it. Let's go ahead and look at the overall footprint of heat, and turn those off, turn off these clearances for a second, and look at the footprint of heat. So again, infrared light waves, you can see with this layout you get a little bit better coverage from left to right, and also it's all uniform throughout the whole span. You got nice crossover rays between each set of heaters, and I think this would be the most comfortable. Now let's go ahead and just move these up. If those fan blades are non-combustible, then this might be something that we can actually do. And let's go ahead and see what that changes. I want you to kind of see, like right here, you can see that the crossover rays are just meeting here, just about an inch above the table itself. But when we move the heaters up, you can see that the physical physical crossover is raised here a little bit higher, and that just creates a nicer uniform amount of heat throughout the whole span. So looking back at that curtain over here, you know, something that we need to be concerned about. Again, you know, the clearances here are met as far as this application is concerned. Now again, I'm not quite sure about how that curtain meets over here, so would we have to push the heaters over to the left or not? Depends if the curtain's below here or on the outside edge. I'm not sure of that. I didn't see the actual hanging portions of the brackets for the curtain in any of the images, so just something to be concerned about. But in any case, if they're below this here, then you're meeting the clearances. If they're outside, you're good. So I think that's about it. Let's see if there's anything else. And I should also mention that the SlimLine does have additional brackets that you can purchase that are extended either 4 or 6 inches or 2 inches. I think you'd have to go with the 4 because I think we just moved it up about 3.5 inches roughly. So in any case, I think that's about it. If you're looking for some assistance with your outdoor heating application and you'd like us to review your plans, please send your information into designs@patioheat.com. I'm Steve. Please tap that like button if you find this video useful. We don't advertise, we're not monetized. YouTube does not promote our channel in any way unless we receive thumbs up from our viewers, and we appreciate that so much. Thank you. Have an excellent day.